All right. Well, let's pray together. Father, thank you so much. Give us insight and help us to ask the right questions. Help us to know what's going on so that we can do our very best in teaching and sharing your word and keeping our communities together, even in the face of this crisis. It's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right. So I've got a little slide presentation for you. Before we get started on that, I want to get started on some things that did not make the slide presentation because they're probably too important. Okay. First one is this. You can expect historically low crowds on Sunday. In my opinion, it'll be somewhere in the neighborhood of 80% of the people in our Bible fellowships will not be attending in person. And so there's a couple of things that you can do about that. And one thing is you can get discouraged and you can say we should have never met in the first place. And you can say we should just do Zoom next week because nobody came. I mean, you can do a lot of things that are going to represent your disappointment. But I think what I want to do, first of all, is just to let you know this is what we can expect. Most people are not going to be returning. And for whatever reason, some have really, really good reasons. They are high risk. And if they were to contract COVID, it could be the end of their lives. And so we have to respect that and we have to understand that. And the other thing I wanted to do, so lower your expectations. Let's everybody do this. Can you do this? Like, feel those expectations coming down? Yeah. If as long as Terry's there, I'm going to be happy. All right. And
I've got my blood pressure cuff on.
As long as Bridget's there to bring you back,
there you go.
When you fade out on us, then we'll be good. So the second thing I wanted to do is what this season requires as much as technical expertise is this. It requires flexibility and grace, okay? We don't know what to expect. There's not gonna be, you know how many media people from the IT team are gonna be available to help us on Sunday when we get started? 0, that's right. Not one media person is going to be able to help. So, there's going to be you remember the first time we did Zoom and people couldn't get on and they were texting you and Fred's texting you, we're waiting. And it was frustrating, right? And so your only response, Fred's coming back now. Your only response is going to be grace and mercy, okay? Let me tell you what I'd like. For the people that are meeting on campus, I need for them not to speak pejoratively of the people that are not meeting on campus. And for the people that are not meeting on campus, I need for them to not speak pejoratively of those that are meeting on campus. This season requires a season of grace and mercy. Amen? I didn't mute anybody.
Amen.
There we go. All right, very good. So flexibility, grace, and mercy. And with that, we're going to get started. Any comments before we get started? All right. So what I want to do next is I want to share my screen and I want to get with this so I remember and cover everything. Okay. That's not what I was looking for. This is what I was looking for. Okay. We're going to start with watch this. There you go. There's your video conferencing original slide. I want you to know I did not have to hire a model. My model is Sean Callender. There. Okay, so the best option for video conferencing from the classroom is a laptop on the podium. This is the community room. It is where 3 of our Bible fellowships are already meeting. And if you have a laptop, if you can set it on that thing, then set it on that podium, then it's a substantial enough podium that you're going to be close enough to the mic and close enough to the camera that you're not going to be, you're going to be heard and you're going to be seen, okay? If you don't have a camera, it's okay to use an iPhone, but you're going to need to get an iPhone holder, and they make them that you could actually set on that lectern. It's just going to hold that microphone. It's going to hold that iPhone up high enough that it'll be eye level. Also, what you're going to discover, Sean in a minute is going to show you, if you're standing right next to the lectern like this, it's kind of an upward view, and that's not a very flattering view. So you want to step back a little bit so that I want everybody to see, first of all, John Banks and Amy Heron. Look what's happening there. They have been to a Zoom class because they see that the very best camera view is eye level camera view. Your camera ought to be right about eye level, because that's what you see when you look at people. They somewhere read that, and now look at Jackie Langford. Jackie's got an iPhone. It's laying in his lap, and you can see right up his nostrils. And so, as much as we think that I can't see Fred right now, I can just see 5 of you guys. But anyway, you've seen good examples and bad examples. But right now, I think the best option for video conferencing is the laptop. Okay. Number 2, this is encouragement. Okay. We have successfully conducted video conferencing for just over 3 months. We've done it very, very well. And we're going to be doing the exact same thing, accomplishing it the exact same way on Sunday, August 2nd. All right. That means there's going to be a host who's going to select the date, August 2nd, and the time for the meeting. And then also going to be sending the meeting invitations out to the class. So it's not going to be any different. All right. So I'm fully confident that we're going to be able to video conference the way we have been video conferencing. Okay. Now, if you're choosing, because you're here at 6 o'clock, if you're choosing to video conference from the campus, the thing that you're going to need the most is Wi-Fi access. And our church has gone out of their way to create a brand new Wi-Fi conduit. There's a data conduit. Imagine, if you will, when I say conduit, some of you are thinking plumbing, right? But a great big data conduit, but it's a private data conduit. Number 4 there is we're going to give a select group of leaders access to a brand new conduit, data conduit called PBC Conference, okay? And that PBC Conference is going to need a passcode. And the reason is that if everybody uses that conduit, then there's not enough broadband connectivity for Zooming. Video and audio requires quite a bit of data. And so as long as everybody's spread out and using their own Wi-Fi, it's never a problem. And that's the genius of Zoom. But when we put a bunch of Zoom calls in the same building at the same time, that broadband connectivity is not so broad. And then we have connectivity issues and delays in speech and real delays in video, and it's just not easy to listen to, okay? Your phone will connect to Zoom even if you don't have Wi-Fi, but it's just a really, really choppy signal. So what you're gonna find when you get there, if you don't know how to do this, you're gonna have a conversation with somebody who does, but you're gonna have to find, gonna have to hook your computer up to the Wi-Fi signal called PBS Conference, okay? And then you're gonna need the passcode, because you'll be able to hook up to it and it'll say, what's your passcode? And we'll have little cards or something with the passcode on it, or it'll be something that you could probably remember, like Vision 2020 or something like that. But by the way, that's IT, and IT hasn't done it yet. They've promised that it will be ready by Thursday, maybe Wednesday, but don't count on it. I was gonna say, let's plan rehearsals all week long, but now we're only gonna be able to plan rehearsals on Thursday, okay? So here's a real quick, just best practices. Close other apps for best performances. If you have lots and lots of apps open on your computer can be less than its optimal performance. Okay, and then the second thing is consider video quality. This is what I'm talking about, okay? This is bad video quality, all right? One of the things that I'm worried about, I'm standing up here, so if I fall down, call 911. When we're teaching on Sunday, we're far enough from the microphone that we really need to project. But what will happen to some teachers is they'll start teaching to the crowd and they'll walk right off from the camera. So you have to really consider video quality and not walk off of the camera, Okay. And the other thing is what Fred was doing a while ago. This is bad video quality too. So please don't make your class listen to watch somebody that I'm going to have to spend a lot of time on this with the people that are zooming into the class. Okay. And then the second thing is audio quality. Those of you that are going to plan on teaching for a long time, and this makes a big difference to you, I would recommend that you look into getting a microphone. Okay. This is it's called a USB microphone, which means it plugs right into the computer, and you don't have to have any sort of a patch cord to get it to work. But it's just a regular condenser microphone, and it's about 10 times stronger than the microphone that comes in your computer. Your computer works, but the quality is not nearly as good. So consider the audio quality. If you get too far back from the microphone, and you're not easily heard, then that's a problem too. All right. This is one thing I'm going to talk. I'm specifically speaking to two people that I know of, Clarence Williams and Jackie Langford. Sorry, Jackie. You guys are so sharp that you can not only teach, but host your Zoom class at the same time. And you've been doing that flawlessly, and I think you'll probably be able to do it on Sunday. But what I'm saying is if there are other problems with the Zoom and you're supposed to be teaching, it can be a real distraction. So I would go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, we've definitely seen that to be true.
Yeah. So we would love, and this is why we have directors. The directors are there to take the load off of the administration, off of the teacher, so the teacher can teach. I would love for somebody to be able to do that in the Zoom class. We don't have an office called technical coordinator. We've got prayer coordinator, social coordinator, shepherd group leader coordinator. But we probably ought to have a technical coordinator, and that's somebody responsible for hosting the Zoom and hooking it up every Sunday so that it's done right and it's done by somebody who knows how. If that's the teacher, that's going to just, we talk about bandwidth. I don't have that kind of bandwidth in my mind, you know. I don't know if you're going to be able to pull that off between now and Sunday, but if you can find somebody that'll host it for you and hook it up for you and let you just do the teaching, then that's a good idea. Also, you may choose to schedule a rehearsal Thursday. And again, I wanted to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but we were just told later this afternoon that Thursday is the only day that they're going to know for sure that we have it, that we have PBC conference. Okay. All righty. So look what we did today, just to make sure that it could be done. This is Sean. See that blue arrow? He's broadcasting from his laptop. I went to my office and I hooked up to the Zoom call, and this is me in my office. That's a screenshot from my laptop in my office. And also up there is me on my cell phone. So we had at least 3 people in class that day, except for 2 of them were me. Okay. So this is Sean broadcasting just like you guys are going to, and you can see him right there in front of his laptop in front of the lectern. Okay. That's what's going to be happening on Sunday. All right. And now, before I go to the next thing, that may be all you need to know. Okay. Is that we're just going to do Zoom the way we've always done Zoom. And we're not going to be as concerned about hearing from the class. Okay. And we're not going to be as concerned about putting the class up on the TVs. We're just going to have a teacher, and the teacher is going to be video conference to those who don't feel comfortable. And that's enough. You don't have to do what I'm about to tell you to do. All right. But if you want to know how to do this, I'm going to give you the next one. Okay. Another thing that Prestonwood has done is that each classroom television is going to have an HDMI cable attached to it. Okay, and this is a close-up of an HDMI cable. If you've ever hooked up any new TVs or any new computer monitors, the HDMI portal is the one that does the video. Okay, now this is the actual classroom TV where Sean and I set up the Zoom today. And if you'll notice, some of you guys don't pay attention to this kind of stuff. there is a nasty looking cable right here, just hanging from the back of it, okay? Our media team has hooked up a very long HDMI cable in the back of every television in every classroom, okay? Here's a better, okay, this is actually a closer view of the same classroom TV with an HDMI cable in the back. So can you see the bottom of the TV there? And you can see how it's all wrapped up right here. It says right there, HDMI 2, and that's the HDMI cable. So Sean and I took that thing down, and we looked at his laptop, and fortunately, his laptop has an HDMI portal right there. And if you want to transfer the image that's on the laptop, on the lectern, to the classroom TV, then you're going to need an HDMI port. And so some of you may already know what that means, but some of you may have to learn, what does an HDMI portal look like, and do I have one on my computer? And the reason why is that each laptop comes with a different array of portals depending on the price and the date of purchase, okay? My computer is about 3 years old now, and it doesn't have an USB drive on it, nor does it have an HDMI adapter connection on it. So what I'm going to have to do if I want to use this laptop on Sunday is I'm going to have to buy an HDMI adapter, okay? And so let me just show you. Older models have what's called USB ports. You guys are familiar with USB ports. Newer models have a USB-C port or portal. And so this example that I pulled off the internet's got 2 of them, but they're separated from one another for some reason, all right? This one also has an HDMI port, and it's also got a data portal or a Cat5 cable portal, all right? So what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to examine the laptop that you're going to be using on Sunday, and you're going to have to look and see what portals are available. A USB portal is not going to hook up to an HDMI. All right, a USB-C is not going to hook up to an HDMI. Fortunately, Sean's had an HDMI portal, and we plugged it in, and it worked perfectly. If you don't have an HDMI portal, then you can order one online, but then you're going to be nervous about whether it's going to get there in time. Okay, but all you'll have to do is if you don't know what I'm talking about, take your PC in to Best Buy, stand in line at the geek counter, and say, I need an HDMI adapter. And you can see right there, I just took a screenshot from a Amazon search, and you can see related searches are USB to HDMI. That's for older laptops. USB-C to HDMI, that's for newer laptops. And then USB-C to HDMI adapter. This right here is kind of clever. I wouldn't really want it, but there's a USB-C that plugs into most newer laptops. And there's an HDMI, and there's a USB, and I'm not even quite sure what that one is. Oh no, that's USB-C and that's USB. So again, that will sink you if you don't have the right adapter, and Prestonwood is not providing those. If you go to the Apple store and buy one from Apple, it'll be about 40 to 50 bucks. But if you get one from Best Buy, maybe Target, maybe Walmart, I don't know, I haven't really checked. I know Best Buy will have them. That's where I got mine. And then it'll be about $17, be a little less than $20. Okay? Any questions before we go on?
Phil, why do we need to hook up to the TVs if I've got people there sitting in front of a mail? I don't understand.
Yeah.
What am I missing?
You really won't need any, you actually don't need to hook up to the TVs in order to Zoom. What you do need is if you want for the Zoom people to be seen, if you want them to be able to ask questions, then you'll be able to see them, and you actually be able to hear them if you get it hooked up right.
Okay, all right.
Good question, Terry.
I'm with you. Sorry.
No problem. Anybody else?
I have a question, Phil.
Okay, Linda.
Is there a TV in the portable? There didn't used to be.
There will be.
Okay. Thank
Watch
you.
me write this down because that's got to be done. Is there a TV? I said it with attitude. You didn't, Linda. Hey, I want you guys to know something about Linda Casey while I'm writing this down. She's using her laptop for all 3 classes, 8, 9:30, and 11 o'clock. That is such a gift to all of those ladies' classes. She would say no, but anybody that doesn't know how to hook this up would say yes.
Oh, man.
So it'll be hooked up the right way the first time, and then it'll work in all 3 classes. All right, so we're gonna get back to Sean as my spokesmodel, okay? This is the HDMI connector that comes out of the classroom TV that I showed you, that's plugged in to Sean's laptop, okay? And then this is what you'll see. This is Sean hosting a Zoom video conference and displaying the conference on the classroom TV. So everybody will be looking at him, but this is the image that people on the Zoom call will see, okay? And then, and if the host has it set on a gallery view, then they'll just be tiny little pictures. But if they have it set up on the speaker's view, then whoever speaks, unmutes themselves and speaks, will come up on the TV. That make sense? And that way, if you have a smaller class and you have discussion questions and somebody from the Zoom class wants to ask a question, they unmute themselves and they say, "Excuse me, John, I have a question." And then they ask a good question and then they mute themselves. And so it's like they're in the room, okay? That's what the purpose of that is, okay? Now, you might need some help with this, but I can help you if you have a Macintosh, but you might need some help if you just have a PC. For class discussion capabilities, you're gonna have to give your computer permission to select a device for sound output. I did a screenshot on Sean's computer there, and he went into system preferences and he said it already identified the LG TV because it was plugged in by the HDMI, and he gave the computer permission to send an audio signal to the television. And so what happened then is that when I ask a question from my office, he could hear it in the classroom. So because operating systems are unique, you might have like a Dell laptop or some sort of another PC laptop, and there are hundreds of them. They all usually all use the same kind of Microsoft system, but somebody will have to help you figure out how to tell your computer it has permission to send that audio signal to the HDMI cable, okay?
Bill, what is that center blue highlighted there? What does that say?
That says output. And so anyway, that will help you. All right.
So Phil, will that take care of the feedback issue?
No. It will make it worse than it's ever been. Okay. One of the things that you're going to have to be really, when we talk about audio quality, you're going to have to tell your people, mute yourselves. Unless you speak, mute yourselves. Because what happens is, especially when people use 2 devices in the same room, is they feedback on one another, and then it just destroys the audio quality for everybody else.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Do I need to mute my computer audio and just use the audio coming off of the TV?
I don't know exactly. Coming off the TV shouldn't bother you. One of the things that I always use headphones with this microphone, and the reason is it takes all ambient noise out of the room. It only goes to my ears. And so I never have trouble with feedback. I can hear others having trouble with feedback, but I never have trouble with feedback. The only way to ensure that there is no feedback is if the speaker or the teacher is the only one who has their microphone turned on. And so it's possible that if in a smaller classroom, someone has a question and they unmute themselves and they say, "Hey, I have a question," it's possible that you're going to get some feedback problem. but maybe you mute yourself for just a second while they ask their question, then you unmute yourself. So it's going to be really, really clunky, especially if you hook up the TV, but it's going to be helpful for smaller classes to ask questions.
One of the reasons why you make someone else the host to it is that they can make sure everybody stays on the muted side.
Yeah. That's
And
the most valuable thing about the host is kind of protecting the mute function. And they can mute everybody at one time. In fact, my wife told me to tell her how to do that. I got to learn how to do that before I go in there. Tell her how to do it. Okay. So
But you can only do that if you have two computers and it's not the computer that your teacher's using.
right. Yeah, that's true. I guess you could, the host could mute themselves and unmute the teacher. And that way you could stop the feedback from having two computers with their sound on at the same time. Well, here's my last slide, and it's the Q&A slide. And I just thought for fun, I would say, don't let anyone tell you there's no such thing as a stupid question, just to kind of start us off on the right foot. I'm going to take this off of screen sharing. Okay. Stop screen sharing. Now I've got everybody back on. Zoomzar. I like that, Fred. ZZ Top. Zoomzar Top Chief is Terry Crump. All right. So Clarence Williams asked, what is the internet access password? I have not been given it yet, so I do not know what the internet password is. I will be able to give that to you Sunday morning for sure. Are there any questions?
You said,
yeah.
I'm sorry, I had one question. You said there's opportunity for a run through on July 30th. What time?
I'll be available any time of day. If you guys could come during the day, that would certainly be easier than if all of you came at night. But if you come at night, I'll be there for you.
I'll be back at midnight.
Do what? Midnight? Okay.
I'll be back at midnight.
You know, we have building security, and I have a badge. I don't know how you're going to get in, but anyway, I can do it really quickly right now. If you say I can come in at such and such time on Thursday, I'll put a number by your day. Clarence, you want to come in at?
Yeah, it would probably be, because after work, so probably, I kind of had to put some things off to get here for this 6 o'clock call.
Yeah.
So 6 o'clock, if that's okay, Phil.
Sure, I'll be looking for you at 6 p.m. Anybody else?
Carolyn?
Yeah, I was going to ask Linda what time she wants to meet.
Anytime. What are you available for?
It better mid-morning to mid-afternoon.
Okay, Mona? You want to join us?
You're muted, Mona. Thank you.
Whatever works for you guys is fine.
Can I recommend 10 a.m. Thursday?
Okay.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Mel, what about you? What time is good for you?
You and I are always up early, so how about 6?
The internet doesn't start until at least 8.
I don't care, Terry. How about 9 o'clock?
9 o'clock works for me.
9 a.m. Thank you.
On
guys.
Thursday, yeah.
Bill, do you have to have a unique time, or can there be multiple people working it out?
I think we could have multiple people, and then I can run back and forth from room to room. We could probably all start off in the same room, but if you guys want to do 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., either one will be fine. Well, let's do 9 a.m. because at 10 I'll be down in the portable building.
John, what about you? What time works for you?
I'd rather do something in the afternoon. I've got to be in Prosper at 5:30 anyway. So how long is this going to take, Phil?
I wish I could say 15 minutes, but it might take a little longer than that. Let's say it'll take 30 minutes.
Okay. So if, I don't know, Bill, what about like 4 o'clock or so? Are you available then?
Well, I have a social engagement at 5, I think. So.
Okay. Can we do it? All right. We'll back up a little earlier.
Okay. About 3:30.
My engagement in Prosper starts at 5:30. So.
How about 3:30 or so?
3:30 would work for me.
Okay.
3:30 p.m. for Bill and John.
And John, can you bring your laptop, and I'll bring my laptop and iPad?
we'll see. Yeah, we'll
We'll
see
see how it all works
how
out.
it goes.
Bill,
Okay.
Bill, I'll try to be there at 9.
Okay. 9 a.m.
hey, Phil,
Yes.
are you going to have passwords Thursday when everybody shows up?
If we have a PBS conference, and we should by Thursday, then we should have the password at that time too.
Okay, you keep saying PBS. Is it PBS?
I'm sorry. It's PBC, Prestonwood
Okay.
Baptist Church.
All right.
Phil, you'll let us know sometime that afternoon via text or email or something, whether we'll go or no go on Thursday.
Yes, if I've got everybody's information here, and if it's a no-go, I'll let you know so that you don't have to come up here and waste your time.
Okay.
What time will the classrooms be open on Sunday?
Anytime after 7 a.m.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Are there can you give us an idea of how the room will be set up? Some of our members don't want to come unless they know what the guidelines are going to be.
Okay, what we did is we found a calculator that was actually, it was an online calculator for restaurants, and we were able to calculate the square footage of each room, and then based upon the square footage of each room, like a 20 by 20 room it can hold 16 people at 6 feet apart from one another. So what we did is we put pairs. We'll just in your class, Mona, and in all of our women's classes in the PCA building, it'll just be one single chair because it's a women's class. Most of our other classes they come in as couples, and so we'll have 2 here, 6 feet. We'll have 2 here, 6 feet. We'll have 2 here, 6 feet back. We'll have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, and so that way we can people that live together can sit together but still socially distance. We're also going to encourage our people to wear masks before and after the teacher. Okay, once they get there and get seated and they're 6 feet away, they can take their masks down. But for the congregating before and after the class, we're going to ask people to wear masks. Any other questions?
Phil, where's the cleanup materials? Where are they going to be? Are they going to be where we can find them? Are they going to be in the file cabinet or where?
I think they'll be on the cabinet there somewhere, easily seen. They were not out today, so I haven't, but they're going to be easy to find.
Okay.
And you just the common space like the lectern. If you set your, you might. Somebody was asking that we're going to have 2. Not just the lectern where you set the laptop, but we'll have a music stand also for those of you that need it for your notes and your Bible. And so you might want to, thanks Clarence, got to go, see you later. You might want to clean both of those off. But
Okay.
beyond that, maybe just the back of the chairs.
Just the back of the chairs that are exposed or something?
Yeah, just the tops of the backs of the chairs.
Okay. All right.
Bill, in the portable building, we've only had a music stand. We don't have a permanent lectern. Is that going to change?
Let me see. I've got 2 things I'm going to check. It's going to have a TV and a heavy duty lectern.
Yes, because our music stand that we've used for teaching, it slides up and down constantly. So it's
Yeah.
not substantial at all for anything with weight.
Okay. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'll see what I can do. Yes,
Hey, Phil,
Maurice?
Phil,
Yeah, I have a quick question. Are we going to be able to use the songbooks?
No. Sorry. We're going to try to keep every handout. We're not going to be doing that. We could do snacks, but they got to be in a cellophane wrapper. So, and if they told me, if they knew I told you that, they would say, "Why did you tell them that?" But yeah, no
question.
handouts. But you could
No handouts, so we can't hand out our own music then.
No, but what you could do is you could do what I did, and that is you could create a slides of the show that you're going to be doing, and I just turned to it and I can't find the Zoom thing. There you go, sorry. You could create slides and do it like remember how you used to do the overhead projector before we had video technology? You can do it that way.
Phil, what if we do up music in a small binder and give it to each person that they can take home and bring back every Sunday? Now, that should work, right?
Yeah, if you can do that, and if they'll bring it back. I don't have a lot of what we're trying to get away from is people handing things back and forth and spreading the virus that way.
Okay.
So there will be no table to sit at?
I wanted tables real bad, Mona, but Terry Crump is not going to allow tables.
Well, wait a minute. I got one other question. You remember, since Mona brought it up, on the rectangular tables, remember in the schoolrooms, we always had a little rectangular table there?
Yes.
Will those be in the class?
I feel fairly certain that all tables are going to be removed. They were stacked up and still in the room today, but that, as far as social distancing recommendations, common space is a no-no. So as far as some school equipment is still going to be in the room, but as far as collapsible tables, they'll probably all be gone.
Well, no, this is the one, you know, each class had a table, and Mel and I thought about just letting him sit in a chair. The computer's sitting there right beside him. He's got the materials right in front of him. I don't have to worry about a music lectern going up and down or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so,
as far as we're concerned, we don't really care how you guys accomplish a good visual and a good audio, but it's really key that you do. And as far as what is available in the classroom, we thought a laptop on that lectern. But yeah, you're right, Terry. If it's in there and if Mel wants to sit down, I think it would be just as good. I think the class is going to be small enough that you don't have to stand. You know, you can sit and have the laptop in front of you.
Yeah, every room used to have those small little tables, and a lot of people put their treats and had supplies and other stuff, but they were all over on the side or the corner of the room.
Yeah, I think they still will be. I just I'm going to have to trust you guys to make sure that you use common space in a very we don't have gloves, but you'll have to use it in a very safe manner and then wipe it down when you're done with it.
well, that's no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Well, guys, I am so proud of you. And I don't say that just to placate you. You know, what was it that it's not pandering. It's something like that. But anyway, I'm not pandering. I mean it. These are uncharted waters. This is unprecedented. Anything that we're doing now is unprecedented. And it takes good, strong leadership. I want to go back to the very first thing I said. We have to lead positively. There's a lot that we're going to be able to find wrong with Sunday. People aren't going to come the way we think they should. And people that teach from off campus, why are they not here? Don't they care? You know, we're going to have to make sure that we govern all of those comments, and we're going to have to season our conversation with grace and be flexible. And I know I can count on you guys for that. But we made it through the first Zoom meeting really, really well. And so we're going to make it through the regathering too, but it's going to take a little longer. Any other questions?
Is the second Zoom that you have scheduled at 7 o'clock? Do we need to take that one off?
7:30. We will be focusing, it's going to be very much similar, except that this is going to be people who don't feel, we have 5 classes where the teacher does not feel comfortable coming. Okay. And so I'm going to be talking to the teachers and the directors about how to primarily, we're going to talk about that HDMI cable and how to project that image on the TV. Frankly, this is just being honest. Okay. And I'm going to say this to them too, it's going to be really clunky. It's going to be really hard meeting week after week, looking at a television, projecting an image with a camera on a computer, and the audio will be even worse. And so we can expect, and this is another thing I'm going to have to beg you guys to do for me, we can expect some reshuffling. Okay. What that means is that people who want to meet on campus might go to a class where there is a live teacher. They may not stay there, but they might. Okay. It's kind of a reset button. We don't want that, but we don't know how we're going to be able to avoid it because we don't make people go to certain classes. So some of our classes, one of our biggest classes, is not even going to be on campus. The teachers agreed to come, the teacher and the director agreed to come, then they found out no one from the class was coming. So they're just going to stay off campus. And that's a large class, but if they wanted to come, they could come to y'all's classes. Jackie has a question.
Are we meeting in our original classrooms?
Yes, yes. With the possible exception of the launch class, because it was meeting in the children's area, and we're not quite sure if the broadband connectivity is going to reach to the children's area.
Phil, where will the attendance records be?
We are working with IT to have an online attendance capability. We think we're going to be able to have that ready by August 2nd. And that will be also on the thing that you're going to be given that has the passcode on it.
Okay, thank you.
Another thing, directors, and you guys keep asking me questions, remind me of things I should have told you. We want to be able to keep track of on-campus attendance and Zoom attendance. And we want to be able to add those together for your total class attendance. We also want to be able to track which one is growing and which one is falling and why. So hopefully one grows while the other one falls and we all get back on campus soon enough.
So Phil, that means we've been just turning in one bulk number to you every week. You're going to want more granular records like we used to have.
Just two. I mean, just your on-campus attendance and your Zoom attendance.
No problem then. Just the same number.
Yeah, and then there will be also a place probably for prospects.
Okay.
So how am I going to get this one more time, Phil, from the church, the attendance record again?
The mysterious IT people with all the power are going to get this.
They're going to tell us that.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to teach me to teach you, and I don't even know the answer to that yet. But it won't be unlike what we've been doing when we started off asking you to go to a Google sheet and fill in your own attendance, and that was so clunky. Then I just asked you to give it to me, and then I did it for you. We'll figure it out between now and then, but I'm not sure exactly what it's.
I love that. I'll just give it to you and send it in an email there, and you'll have it right there with you.
Make it happen. Make it happen.
Hey, so what are we going to do? What are we going to do upstairs now? Are we going to have name tags, or name tag machines are still off?
I have not. Nobody's asked me that question,
Because
and I think that we should have name tags because there'll only be one person touching the name tag, and that'll still give you security clearance to serve in the children's area.
Okay, but people from the top floor go through the children's area.
Right.
Through that
Right.
area.
I think that not knowing the answer to that, I think that the answer is yes, there will be name tags available.
Okay.
You do have to touch the screen.
Ooh, you do have to touch the screen.
Yeah.
Youch.
Yeah.
Okay, stand by. You'll have an answer to that before Sunday.
Yeah, I know currently the children's area, they just actually have it ready for us when we come in. And
What
they
you're
just
going
hand
to
it
do,
to us.
you're going to type your name in a text message large on your phone, and you're just going to wear your phone around your neck.
Yeah, now we're talking. There we go. Amy,
Yes.
I'm going to have IT contact you. Okay?
No.
Yeah, I'm
No.
going to put it on your forehead. That's too close to something else.
What
In that
IT
same line there,
department-
Phil, are the elevators going to be available?
Yes, I'm gonna put name tags / check-in / elevators.
There you go.
We
Well,
may have to have a monitor.
Will visitors still fill out the paper form?
No, I think that there'll be an online form and the prospect coordinator will have to type that in for them. Great questions, you guys. I wish you were at that meeting instead of me.
I doubt we're going to, we probably aren't going to have guests.
Hey, we had a bunch of guests in church on Sunday. We were
What
shocked.
were our counts for church, by the
We
way?
were just at 1,000 people this Sunday, just under.
Was it equal?
Yeah, about that many in the first and the second service.
I was feeling like it was close to 600
Yeah,
second service. So
it
that's
was close to 500 in in both services.
We actually conduct our Zoom meetings every other week in person. And we actually had some visitors last Saturday night.
Yeah, and they came to church on Sunday morning.
Mhm.
They said, our church is shut down, so we're coming to a church that's meeting. That's what I mean when I say some reshuffling. We can't be too proud about it, but we can certainly welcome them. You have to ask them, are you tithers? I'm just kidding. Don't ask them that. Don't ask them. Well, that's just an old, that's an insider's joke. I wouldn't share that from the pulpit, but
my word. I'm not used to this age group. I teach all these young girls and they don't understand this kind of language.
no kidding. No kidding.
They just
Hey, I'm so proud of Amy. She has a group of gals that they all work full time. They've all got kids at home. Think about this: full-time moms, full-time homeschool teachers, full-time kitchen. And they're tough. It's a tough role. And then they meet every Sunday with Amy, and there's probably some tears shed if I know that class.
We had a really, really good week this week. We have 2 women that are in the throes of mediation in their divorces. And
Ouch. Yeah,
it breaks your heart what they're having to go through.
sure enough. Sure enough.
But we're such a great community. They just love on each other and care for each other so much. It's very, very wonderful.
Man, that's good. I love to poke my head in because they really are a loving community, and they brighten up when you say something silly. That's my gift, or curse, some would say. All right, well, guys, I'm going to ask Bill Ruff. I've asked him before, and he did such a good job. Just unmute yourself and dismiss us in a prayer, and then I'll close this meeting down. Okay?
Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for the opportunity to come together and to meet as your church. We just praise you, Lord, for who you are and what you have done and continue to do in our lives. We just pray, Lord, that as we go about the planning for this, that there will be, you'll grant your protection over all of those who are involved, that you'll provide protection for those who come and worship together and Bible fellowship together. We just pray, Lord, that this will be a good reopening with an exalting time for you. We just pray this all in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
Amen. Well, thanks, guys. Remember, there'll be no hugs on Sunday, but there might be some air high fives and maybe even an elbow bump. All righty. And I will try
Not
to
even
have
a little hug? Not even a little hug?
in the car before you get out. It'd have to be Bridget. I saw a thing on the computer the other day that said, even after this COVID thing's out there, I want to be distanced from some of you. All righty. Well, guys, thank you for coming. And I will see you at our rehearsal on Thursday.
Thank you.
All righty. Bye-bye.